In this video, I'm going to tell you why Andrea English, Mesha, and Allie Carter is actually helping Diddy's defense. Each one of these women are saying they was ex-trafficked by him in some capacity. You know, they was at the white parties, they was at the after parties. Their stories kind of cross and mix to the point that some people are saying, you know, one person is saying that was Allie that was in the tunnels on the video with Jay-Z. Then someone else said, no, that wasn't Allie, that was me. And then with one of the victims that want to remain anonymous, Mesha is saying that was her in the photograph, and that was the other, you know, the anonymous, the Jane Doe. That's not Jane Doe, that's her. And even the attorney came out and said, no, we have the person that I'm defending is the one that's in the photo. Because what you have to understand is that if a person comes to an attorney, regardless of what the situation is, the attorney is not going to take their case unless they feel that the person is, one, telling the truth, and two, that they can win in some type of capacity. So this young woman went to that lawyer and said, hey, I was 17 years old when I was SA'd by Diddy and the other person. Here's photo evidence. They're actually seeing her face. And when she was 17, they're looking at the 17-year-old picture and they're looking at the woman in front of them. They can tell that's the person. And if they have any doubt, they could ask her, well, do you have any other pictures of you around that same age? It's not about the clothes that she has on, because people can change clothes. It's about her face. It's about her facial feature. It's about her bone structure. In the photograph, just say, for instance, the person had a gap in their teeth, then the person standing in front of them don't. They're going to question, okay, how come you had a gap in your teeth in this picture, but, you know, in the other pictures there is a gap in your teeth? They're going to examine that photo, and they're going to also examine her and get information from her. They're going to cross-examine her as if she was on stand, because they know that that picture is evidence, and the Diddy's attorneys is going to use that. So if that's not the same person, that lawyer would be crazy to take her case and defend her. Just because we don't see the face, it means absolutely nothing. The people that need to know if that's the right person or not, they know that's the right person. And then for Mesha to come along and say, hey, that's me, I don't know who, you know, look, anybody could have those clothes, that was me, I took that picture, that is causing doubt. All these women that saying they was here, they was there, they did this, they did that, they're putting doubt out there. And all you need is a reasonable doubt to find someone not guilty. And that's all they're doing, is putting down all these true victims that came out, and they're, you know, in spite of being threatened, in spite of what could happen to them, in spite of the fear and the trauma that they actually went through, they was brave enough to come forward. They have evidence, they're presenting information, and they're willing to, you know, move forward with court cases against Diddy. Then you have these other women. If you really went through that and you really want justice, you don't get justice by going out there just yelling all this information out and then come back and say, well, no, I lied about this. Oh, no, this is not true. Even when Jaguar was talking to Mesha and said we never met, Mesha kept overlooking what she's saying and more or less trying to stick to her story. And Jaguar kept saying to her, no, we never met. I don't know you. You know, you need help, because she's talking about all this stuff that she did to babies. There's no emotions, no emotion at all. And she's talking about, you will see some people have more emotion about an animal that they had to get rid of, that they didn't want to, you know, they didn't want to do anything to an animal. They would show more emotions towards that. She has absolutely no emotions, and she's saying these was babies that she physically had to get rid of, that she had to, you know, eliminate. And there's no emotions, no nothing in her about what she's saying that she did. And so it's when you get to the point where a lot of stuff that they're saying, you can come back and say, well, that's not true because of this, that's not true because of that. Well, what about this person saying, you know, it's like they're in the court of opinion, and people who are looking at what they're saying is debunking what they're saying to a point. Just like with Alice, she's saying Tupac is her father and Tupac is still alive. A lot of people are saying, yeah, I believe her, she's Tupac's daughter, with absolutely no evidence. She's saying Tupac alive. But didn't Keefe D get arrested and prosecuted and charged with the murder of Tupac? So is he dead or is he alive? If he's still alive, why did Keefe D get charged for murdering him? For that? Why was he arrested? Why was he in court? Why was he charged with killing someone that's still alive, according to Ali Carter? And all these people believed him. So even if a person, because what you have to think about, if they take this to a jury trial, you don't know who the jury has heard, has listened to, what they have seen. Even if they're not following every single thing about it, all it takes is for one person to hear something. They might be listening to a certain podcast, a certain YouTuber, a certain whatever, that they believe in that person. Not necessarily these women, but they believe that person to be an honest person, to be a trustworthy person, to be a truthful person. But then they listen to what they're saying about this Diddy situation, and they're saying they believe these women. Even if they never heard what these women had to say, they're saying they believe that they experienced this, they went through this, they're telling the truth, and Diddy did all this to them. Now, there's going to be doubt in their mind when certain things come forward. So what they're doing is, I don't know what these women have been through. I don't know what these women are up to. I don't know what side they're on. Are they really on Diddy's side in some capacity? Are they working for him in some capacity? Because they're out there stirring the pot. They're muddying the waters. They're making it hard for people to believe the actual victim, because now they could say, well, this person said there was a victim. You know, Mesha said she was the victim and she experienced this, this, and this, but it's not true. How do we know that what you're saying is true? Ali Carter says she's Tupac's daughter and that he's still alive, but at the same time, we know he's not. She hasn't put forth a birth certificate, a blood test, or anything to prove that she's his daughter. So how do we know what you're saying is true about you was at this party, or you experienced this, or that happened to you? Maybe you was drugged. You know, how do we know you didn't come to the party already high? Or someone else drugged you, or someone else did this to you. So you're making it harder for the people who really going to be on the stands, who really putting forth an effort to get this man charged for the things he did. Do I believe that he did evil things? Yes. And I feel that he should be judged for the things he actually has done. I feel that he should be take accountability for the things that he has actually done. I have always said it, even when I was talking about T.D. Jakes and other people. Don't lie on these people. If these people didn't do anything to you, don't lie and say they did. If they did do something to you, don't embellish the lie to make it sound better. Just tell what they actually did. Because when you start lying, all that do is put doubt in people's mind and hurt the situation and hurt the case. People have gotten off because of reasonable doubt. They was guilty, but because it was so much lies, so much distrust, so much misinformation, it got to the point where people was like, the jury is like, well, we don't know what's true, what's real, and what's not. And so that's why I feel that they're more or less helping Diddy than actually, they're not even helping themselves. They're actually hurting themselves, because how can you go forward with the case and you're just out here on the internet lying, and they can go back and say, well, you lied about this, you lied about that. How can we trust that you're an honest person? How can we trust that your memory is exact? You remember this, but you don't remember that. So they're actually hurting themselves. They're helping Diddy, and then they're also hurting the people that have attorneys and have cases that's going to court. So it's best, and then it's people that's feeding off of this. even when they see the truth, even when they come back and say they lied, they still want to believe them. They still, because they're just, whatever, it's just something in people. They would rather hold on to a lie than accept the truth, instead of admit the truth. And that's what's going on in this situation. It's just so much is being put out there that you have to weed through that information, and that's not good, especially in a high profile case like this, especially in a case that is so serious, especially when people are still out there, girls are still out there being SA. The same thing with boys, they're still out there being SA. And so when you have so many people lying about what's going on, then it makes it hard for these people to want to come forward. It makes it harder for these people to want to say, this is what happened to me.